600 years ago, high in the Andes, farmers discovered a quiet trick that changed everything. They coaxed potatoes from rock and frost. No tractors, no lab tests, just stone, straw, and timing. The method was so simple, it looked like magic. Then, it vanished from most fields. Today, buried in mountain villages, the same trick still speeds growth, sometimes doubling harvests, sometimes saving a season. What did they do? How did they bend cold nights into warmth? We will follow a single seed, a single mound, and a single family to find the answer. Stay with us. The mountain remembers always. High on the spine of the world, the Andes cut the sky into sharp teeth. 6 centuries ago, people lived where the air thinned and the nights bit with frost. They were not rich, they were not many, they were stubbornly alive. Stone terraces stepped down the mountains like giant staircases. Each ledge held a small field, a patch of soil no wider than a room. Wind hammered the slopes, rain came in fits, sun burned by day and froze by night. Yet on those narrow shelves, potatoes grew, dozens of kinds, colors like buried jewels. Families rose before dawn. They wrapped in wool and walked to the fields. Hands knew the land by touch, where the soil warmed, where cold pooled, where a stone held heat. Children ran between rows, carrying straw and seeds. Elders hummed old songs while they sorted tubers. Work was slow, careful, almost like listening. This was a world of small choices that mattered. A misplaced stone could mean a lost harvest. A single frost could empty a pantry. And in that pressure, the people learned tricks, quiet, precise moves that bent the mountain to their will. They turned cold into warmth. They made potatoes grow faster than the season should allow. Listen closely. The mountain still remembers how.
High on the mountain, the land itself was the enemy. Thin soil clung to rock like a stubborn coat. Rain came in bursts, then stopped for weeks. Night temperatures plunged without warning. Frost could arrive in a single breath and kill a whole field. Water was scarce and cruelly timed. A single storm could wash away a season's work. Seeds sat exposed to wind and cold. Pests and disease moved fast where plants were weak. There was no fertilizer to buy, no engine to speed a rescue. Families lived with a constant deadline. The season. If the tubers did not mature before the first hard freeze, the harvest was lost. Children watched elders count days like coins. Every mistake had weight. A misplaced stone, a shallow trench, a late planting. Any of these could mean hunger. The pressure shaped everything. Survival demanded tricks that bent the rules of the mountain. They needed speed without haste. They needed warmth without fire. They needed soil that could hold life where life should not be. They found the secret in small moves, not grand inventions. First, they built the bed, a shallow trench lined with stones. The stones were not random. They were chosen for size and color. Dark stones soaked the sun. By night, they gave it back. Second, they layered. Soil, straw, crushed leaves, a thin spread of animal dung, layer upon layer like a sandwich. Each layer breathed, each layer held water. The tubers sat on top, warm and fed. Third, they shaped the mound. As the sprout pushed up, the farmer added soil around the stem. The mound grew with the plant. This hilling made room for tubers to form along buried stems. More buried stem, more potatoes. Fourth, they used ash in rock heat. A pinch of ash raised minerals. Stones trapped daytime warmth and released it at night. The microheat kept frost from biting young shoots. Fifth, they read the slope. They planted where cold air ran off. They avoided frost pockets. They mixed varieties, fast growers near the edge, slow keepers deeper in. Each step was small. Each step alone did little. Together, they changed the season. Cold nights became gentler. Tubers grew faster. The mountain's short summer stretched just enough to feed a family. Think of the mound as a tiny oven. By day, dark stones and packed soil soak up sunlight. By night, they slowly release that heat. That steady warmth keeps young shoots from freezing. Layers act like a sponge. Straw and leaves trap moisture. Compost feeds microbes that turn waste into plant food. Air pockets between twigs and stones let roots breathe. Together, the layers hold water longer and warm faster than plain soil. Hilling is clever physics and biology in one move. Burying stems forces the plant to make tubers along the buried section. More buried stem, more places for potatoes to form. It's like giving the plant extra rooms to grow in. Ash and crushed rock add minerals slowly. They nudge pH and give potassium and trace elements. That helps tubers swell and resist disease. Finally, variety and placement are simple insurance. Fast maturing types go where the sun is strongest. Slow keepers sit deeper or in cooler pockets. This mix spreads risk across time and space. Put together, these small acts change the microclimate. They lengthen the growing window. They speed development without engines or chemicals. It's low-tech, but it uses nature's rules to win. The outcome looks almost like a miracle, but it is careful work. Seedlings survive frosts that would kill ordinary beds. Tubers form sooner and in greater numbers. Families harvest earlier with more food to store. In bad years, these methods turn a near famine into a manageable shortage. Fields that once failed now yield enough to trade and save. It's not about huge industrial yields. It's about reliable, repeatable success when the mountain tries to take everything back. So why did this method fade from view? Partly, the world changed fast. Colonial systems pushed new crops, new tools, new markets. People chased higher yields with plows and chemicals. Knowledge moved into cities and labs, not hands and songs. Some practices were dismissed as backward. Others were simply lost as families scattered. But the trick never truly died. It survived in pockets, in elders' memories, in terraces that still hold rain. Sometimes the smartest methods are the quietest and easiest to overlook. This trick fits today more than you might think. Urban gardeners can mimic mounds in raised beds. Backyard growers can layer compost, straw, and stones. Community gardens can mix fast and slow varieties to spread risk. Smallholders can use ash and rock to correct poor soils. Scientists now call this agroecology. They measure what mountain farmers always felt: layered soil holds life. Diversity reduces collapse. Heat traps extend seasons. You don't need a mountain to borrow the idea. You only need to think in layers, not shortcuts. 600 years of practice distilled into simple moves. A stone, a layer, a mound, each one a small promise against hunger. The Inca trick asks us to slow down and listen to soil. It asks us to build systems that recover, not just produce. Try one small experiment this season. Make a mound, add compost, tuck in a seed potato. Watch how the plant rewards patience. If we keep these old ways alive, we keep a kind of insurance for the future. Ancient wisdom is not nostalgia, it is a tool. Use it, and you may find your garden grows a little more like a mountain.